I know. Cricket. Okay. So, hello. My name is Brandy. My interviewee is Sam. And this evening, I will be demonstrating attending, observation, encouraging, paraphrasing, and summarizing skills, as well as empathy in the model of SOLAR. So, Sam, how are you today?
Tired, but I'm doing well.
Tired. I feel that. That's good, though. That's good, though. That's good. So, what's on your mind today, Sam?
Today today's been a little emotionally exhausting, but uh, I feel like I was productive with work, and I was able to like take time, not necessarily self care time, but just knowing like what your limit is.
Mm.
I feel like today I was just like, you know what, today doesn't really feel like I've done what I could do, and the rest, I think I'm just gonna take a pause, and that just maybe for tomorrow. Not to overstress myself because having really stressful days don't always feel very productive when you're trying to be overproductive. And it's like, we should just stop right here.
Right.
And that'll be all right for today.
Right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And even though I didn't do too much, I still feel tired, which lets you know if I would have done the things I want to do, I wouldn't be here right now. I'd probably be asleep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, in what way do you feel that you were productive? You mentioned being productive, but what exactly did you do?
I went to the gym, and workout was really great. I also taught a sewing lesson. I cooked.
Okay.
I took a nap. Praise God.
All the time?
I took a nap, and I also prepped for like my day tomorrow. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, when you say prepping for the day, because it does sound like you were very productive today, which is wonderful. I do not have that skill. So I'm gonna have to take some tips from you. But when you say prep for tomorrow, what does that look like? What do you do when you prep for tomorrow?
It definitely, for me, I feel like it's like meals 1st. So like prepping what my meals are gonna be, so that I'm not buying food out unnecessarily or spending, because I've already spent money on these groceries. With the price of food and the gas money it would take to go buy food, I feel like that's unnecessary.
Right.
So it's meals first. I try not to do necessarily a to-do list, because like to-do lists, we create this expectation, and then if we're not able to fulfill the expectation, because I feel like I create unrealistic expectations sometimes with my to-do list. It's like I'll just get all 7 of these things done, but not really realizing how much time each thing may take.
Right.
So I've just realized, okay, the priorities are things I actually have to do, like places to be. So once I know like where I have to be for the day, I have all my meals prepped because I cook a lot. That sets like the standard, and then in between like the obligations, it's like, okay, what are things on my list that I can accomplish in this time, which makes my day more realistic for me, rather than feeling overwhelming and then disappointing later.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm stuck on the disappointing part because I haven't heard much disappointment here. So I need you just let's elaborate a little bit more on that. So what makes you feel that would be such of bringing disappointment?
Well, I think when we create our own, we create like high expectations for ourselves, but the expectation isn't necessarily founded on a lot. It's just putting ourselves like, I need to accomplish these 10 things today, but why does it have to be 10? You know, and then, okay, if you want to do these things, have you actually thought about how long it takes you to do these things? Or you just want to get these things done because they're things that just need to get done in general.
Right.
But because I know my strength isn't necessarily deciding how long each thing takes to do, I just know what I need to get done. Instead of creating a long list, honestly, just tackling 1 or 2 things off that list is like, this has been effective. And then if anything else happens, cool. Because even though we may have a list of things, there's also other things that pop up, like smaller, not smaller, but just other things that may pop up that we end up doing or may be more prioritized at the time. And so I know for me, I should not necessarily always create like this long to-do list, because that's a momentary to-do list, not a realistic to-do list once I go through my day
Okay.
of things I realize other things that need to get done. So if I only have this initial to-do list that I've created of things I feel need to get done, and then they don't get done because there's just other things that come about in the day that we do or maybe more prioritized, then I feel like I haven't done anything because I didn't cross off all the things for the day. But the reality is I did do other things.
Okay.
And I'm not giving myself that credit. So I try to not create a long list. And if I do 2 things off that list, it's been a good day. Because I probably have done 10 other things besides what's on that list that I'm just not acknowledging. Yeah.
Right.
I got really detailed, but...
And that's okay. I appreciate the details. I really do. It helps me better understand where you're coming from. And, so what I've gathered, at least for your day, because very productive for one. And so you've gone to the gym, you took your nap, which is a luxury. You were able to cook, prep for your day tomorrow, and then just going a little bit deeper into details, basically not wanting to have any unrealistic expectations for yourself when it comes to prepping. Okay.
Yeah.
And have you always been that way? When it comes to prepping, like, have you always had, like, the moment of not wanting to be unrealistic, or were you realistic at one point, which made you now turn into not having unrealistic expectations?
I don't think I always acknowledged the fact that I was unrealistic. I don't think I was aware enough to know that. Okay. I think I've always been a list person, setting the expectations, creating the list, wanting to do a lot of things, keep myself very busy. But I think as I've gotten older, realizing I don't need to be busy. I think I felt that I should be busy and I should accomplish a lot, because accomplishment, we link accomplishment to success. But I don't need to do all of these things to feel as though I've had a good day, or that I've done enough, or that it's been an effective day. Going to the gym, eating a meal that you cooked, prepping more food, having time to rest, doing your laundry, making sure your hair done. Like, those are great things. That's a good day, because we can do a lot of other stuff and then those things don't get done. And then we feel like a mess because, my hair isn't done, or I don't have nothing to eat and I wasted the whole day and I could have,
Right.
So I'm trying, I think as I'm getting older, realizing the rush that I always put myself in of just needing to do so much and always be so busy is not a sustainable life.
Gotcha.
Yeah, a fast-paced life isn't sustainable for everybody, and could have been at one point. And I think it's projected that we should be highly effective people that are always progressing and always moving. Maybe it's just not for everybody. Right. So I had to make some changes as I've gotten older.
And I do like how you give yourself credit that as you've gotten older, you've had to realize certain things. Now, it doesn't sound like that these have been drastic changes that you've had to make, but just for you to acknowledge that, it's always a good thing for us to, as humans, to give ourselves a pat on the back.
Yeah.
When we're able to adjust and then associate accomplishments. Now, whether that's success or not, I understand where you were coming from in that point. But, it does sound like you were at least able to get a lot of things done, and this is your norm. So let me ask you, what would happen if you did not what would happen if you ended up doing more than what was on your plate? Or what was on your list, excuse me.
Oh, then I feel great. I'm like, I had a great day today. I got a lot done. Like yes to today. Yes to today.
Okay.
I think it may actually make me have more energy, because I know, because I feel like I get in the zone. Once I can get a lot of stuff done, I just feel like I'm in the zone, and I have, like, how they say, like, crackhead energy. Like, you just want to go off. That's how I feel. Like, I'm on it. And then when it's done, I'm like, all right, I'm tired. I'm done now.
Okay.
But you feel like a little high. I'm like, yeah, I'm getting, that's what crackhead energy. Because I'm feeling productive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm not too familiar with this slang that you were using. But, so with that, what was it? What would you mention? This crackhead energy. Can you give me a little bit more about that? I've never heard of this.
Oh, so
funny. So please, where did this come
colloquial.
from? I'm sorry, it's what?
Nothing.
Okay.
But crackhead. People who use drugs. If it's a drug that's a what is it called? There's drugs that are depressants and drugs that are, the word's not coming to me now. Stimulants. So drugs that are stimulants, they give you energy.
Okay.
And so they say that people who are on drugs, you look like you're on drugs, or you have a lot of high energy, you're spastic, you're just doing a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And so people use the phrase like crackhead energy, like you're on it, like a little hyper, you're hyper focused. So my roommate, she says, sometimes she says I have that crackhead energy, like my energy, when she knows that my energy is high, I'm in a moment of like, I have high energy right now, so I try to utilize it.
Okay.
So even in work, like if I'm on a high, I'm like, yeah, stuff is getting done, I'm going to try to optimize my capabilities in this time frame. Because once that energy is gone, I'm sleepy and I'm done. So try to utilize it in the moment.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you for sharing that. You know, I always like to stay hip. So I feel like I'm hip with this sort of energy that you've explained. So I definitely appreciate that. But yes, Sam, you know, I do appreciate you spending this time with me. And, you know, it does sound like, from what I've heard thus far, you know, you are a pretty productive person yourself, whether that means meeting expectations, being on this sort of high, this energy that you have. Either way, it does look like you're in the right direction, at least of where you want to go. So I look forward to our second session. And that is it.
Thanks.
Absolutely. Scene.